So hey everyone, welcome to another Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant and I'm here today with Stephen Devine from Stephen Devine Personal Training. How are you, mate? Good to see you.
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for inviting me along today.
Pleasure. Welcome to the studio. As in true Brilliant Businesses fashion, we always start by you telling us your story and your journey as to how you got to where you are. I know you spent some time in the police and it's an interesting story, so take it away, Steve.
Right, okay, so who doesn't like talking about themselves? Okay, so I spent about 13 years in the police and I had a really good time, experienced quite a lot of different things, but towards the end of my career I sustained an eye injury and I had trained to drive the fast cars and motorcycles. And it's kind of frowned upon to drive around central London at 100 miles an hour if you can't see so well. Mm. So yeah, it kind of put the stoppers on my police career. So I used that time to retrain and so I ended up as a personal trainer because I suppose I joined the police in the first place to do more action rather than sitting behind a desk. And what could be better than following that with personal training and being active and getting stuck into that. So yeah, that's sort of a very brief history of police, my journey through the police. Excellent. And into personal training.
Sounded like a perfect transition, really. Definitely. So now I know that one of your sort of key areas is helping people in their 40s over and above about training them and getting them through into a decent fitness level. So tell us about how that works.
Okay, so I kind of hit the ground running with investigating all the different ways and people that I might be able to train. And obviously the big market in health and fitness is weight loss, and specifically, not being sexist, but women tend to be the target market for a lot of trainers. And, I wanted to be able to help people and identify with them and empathize with them. And not being very good at any of those skills, I thought, why don't I try and find people like me who have the same struggles as I do? So people over 40 generally tend to have, quite a strong work ethic, and they're able to focus quite well in the gym if they're into health and fitness. But one of the things they can't do anymore is they can't recover as well as they could do when they were in their 20s and 30s. So a lot of the struggles that I see people in the gym having who are over 40, I can identify with because I have the same struggles. Mm. And so I felt that they would be the ones that I could help the best and, give the most value to. So that's why I suppose I wanted to target that particular niche.
Yeah, no, that's it's a good cause. We all struggle when we're over 40 with keeping fit in the exercise. Yeah. And, I fit into that category very much too. And when we spoke before, you sort of, I know you concentrate on mindset as well and nutrition, which is a big part of it. The saying that you mentioned of knowing, not doing. Everyone can look at YouTube videos and learn how to do things, but if you put it into action is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I batter that drum all the time. Knowing is not doing, and a lot of people can want to I suppose it's a way of procrastinating. So you study all the books, you watch all the YouTube videos, you buy all the diet books, but basically you're putting a lot of distance between you and doing the things that are necessary to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. And so I see things as being more action orientated and helping people to change habits, change their surroundings, change their environment to facilitate the changes that they want to bring to bear. So, and knowing the constituent parts of a good diet as protein, carbs, and fats, fascinating, I'm sure it will be to your listeners, is boring as hell to most people. And knowing all about that doesn't prevent you from gluttony and eating too much of them. Sure. So if I can figure out how to help people take action rather than stock up on all the information and not apply it, then I think I'm doing a reasonably good job. Yeah,
you're on the right road. Tell us a bit about the boot camps, because here in Tunbridge Wells you set those up just before lockdown, I think.
Well, actually it was probably around the time of the lockdown when the gyms were closed. I needed to do something. Again, it goes back to taking action. I wasn't prepared to just sit back and wait for things to go back to normal. I really wanted to feel like I was pushing forward and doing what I wanted to be doing. So, I did a lot of Zoom classes, and I did a lot of CrossFit via Zoom classes, and my old clients came back via Zoom classes. But I wanted to get out and about and do some sort of more in-person stuff, and that was the only way to do it at the time. I thought it was a great way to get people back and active. And if you weren't 100% confident about going back to the gyms, like some of my particular clients weren't very enthusiastic about going back to the gym, I thought I needed to have some sort of solution in place to help them, get back into their fitness and not lose it completely through, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's not your own fault that you can't go to the gym if they're all closed.
No.
And I think a lot of people had, problems in lockdown with what they would do. But yeah, it was a solution, I thought, at the time, and that's what that was born out of.
Yeah. And on this windy, blustery day today, it's going to be a challenge, but you're thinking about doing something else with that. That's in the plan.
Yeah, well, I think I sent something out about unless people want to learn how to swim, I need to figure out a solution to bring it indoors. So I've been looking at some venues to bring it indoors and provide the same sort of atmosphere, same sort of group mentality and support in an indoor environment. Because one of the things I really love about bootcamp environment or group training is it's sort of bigger than the sum of its parts, because you can do so much on your own, but when you are relying on other people or accountable to other people, for one, turning up, and two, the support that you get, it becomes has a life of its own. And the group members talk amongst themselves, and it becomes a little bit bigger than just the trainer telling people what to do. You have a group of people all on a similar sort of journey that all are experience the similar sort of growing pains that I was talking about. And if you can empathize and identify with people who are on a same journey as you, then it's a lot easier to, to march forward. It doesn't feel so pointless and lonely, I suppose. It can be relentless trying to pursue your fitness goals on your own, and it can sort of wear you down. But if you've got the support of a group of other people who are like-minded, then I think it really helps.
It's the camaraderie as well, isn't it? That's
absolutely. There's some, the guys have become friends outside of the group and know each other because of the group. And that's something that's really a powerful thing that and also gives you a sense of pride because you create that.
Yeah. Another interesting fact that we were talking about was when you're doing your personal training, you've got someone in front of you and they tell you what their goal is or what they want to achieve. Usually it's there's something behind that rather than it's just, I want to get fit because I want to look good. Sometimes to find the actual truth from someone is a challenge, I would have thought.
Yes, yeah. So I went so far at one point that I really didn't believe much in doing consultations, because why would you, unless you're on a podcast, tell a total stranger about your personal life and what was going on and what was important to you and what you saw yourself doing in the next 5 years and your family situation and all of that sort of stuff. So I thought, it's very hard to get the truth out of people in terms of what's really important to them. So yeah, everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants a nice six-pack or a flat tummy. But why? What's that going to give them? What do they get out of that? What is it? They'll look better on holiday. They'll look better to their partner. It's something that's more deeply rooted. And if you can get to that reason, you have a big why for the person to pursue their fitness goals. And I truly believe that, hardly anybody will reveal that on the first encounter with a personal trainer. So, the gap between what people say and what they do is quite important. And along the way, I sort of figured out or read and learned that, what people say and what they think is important to them might be something that they truly believe. But if you look more closely and you see where does somebody spend their time, what do they spend their money on, what are they surrounded by, you get a truer picture of what's important to somebody, myself included. And yes, you can say that something's important to you, and it might be an aspirational goal that you want the six-pack, but if your fridge is full of beer and pizza, then there's a little bit of a gap between what you want and what you're actually doing.
Yeah. Tell us about walking on your hands. Because you're very good at that, and the story behind it's quite cool.
So my first ever client in Halo Gym, it was about 3 or 4 years ago, came to me and he said he wanted to train 3 days a week and he wants to learn how to walk in his hands. And it was kind of unheard of, 3 days a week and, paying my hourly rate. And I thought, wow, this is me set up. I don't need any more clients. I can just do this. Yeah. There was one small barrier in the way that I had no idea how to do a handstand or a handstand walk. So, of course, I said to the guy, yes, I'll show you how to do that. And then had to go away and figure out how to actually manage to do it. So I spent about 6 months, I think, falling over pretty much every day and walking on my hands and trying and bruising and, humiliated because I was the stupid guy in the corner of the gym, just relentlessly trying to pursue something that was clearly beyond him. Yeah. But I had a couple of breakthroughs and went on a couple of courses, and like anything else, it sort of got a little bit easier, and all of a sudden I became totally addicted to bodyweight movement and what that represented. And what it represented to me was the fact that when you're past 40, perhaps you still like looking at yourself in the mirror and flexing your biceps, but it can be really much more rewarding to see what your body can do for you. So the kinds of things that you can still perform when people like my dad were in their pipe and their slippers, it was a different generation. Now 40-year-olds can do and achieve a hell of a lot more than we previously would have thought or believed. And that's part of the message that I like to be able to give to my clients that are over 40, is that to expect more from themselves. You just because you're a specific number or age doesn't mean that you have to reassess all of your goals and downplay them and forget about things. You can still push and you can still achieve a hell of a lot. And I think that's so. Unfortunately, that means that I have to actually walk the walk and do it myself to a certain degree.
But as a trainer, that shows persistence, and it shows that you're prepared to put the work in to achieve something. So, why wouldn't someone else, believe in you for that? And I think that's really good.
I think that's an important part. So the magic pill, or the magic is the fact that there is no magic. Right, it's the relentless pursuit and consistency on the basics that make things happen. And even the elite guys will come back to that. It is the boring basics of nutrition, the sleep, the lifestyle, the training. There is no magic pill. Unless you're Lance Armstrong, and then we all know
there is
his
a magic pill.
Yeah,
but forgetting Lance Armstrong, the benefits obviously are massive, aren't they? So that's really important to get across as well.
I think so, because not just walking on your hands, but any sort of bodyweight exercise or anything that you do consistently, the practice, and especially if it's performance orientated or driven by having your body do some amazing stuff. The byproduct is that it looks a certain way. You build the muscles that you need to perform the things that you do, and so your body reflects what you work at. It might not be as huge and amazing and awe-inspiring as some sort of bodybuilders like Schwarzenegger or whatever, but in terms of a physique that represents a work ethic and relentless practice, then I think you can, it's a nice byproduct. Yeah.
Steve, that's brilliant. Thanks so much for coming in today and sharing your story and sharing your wisdom with us. If anyone wants Steve's contact details, they're on the Brilliant Businesses website, and also will be in the comment sections below. So thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching, and great to see you again, Steve. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks for joining. Cheers, mate. Bye.